Well, I think the first thing we have to do is we have to face that reality. And also, I think we have to meet them where they are. Actually, there was a recent survey. In fact, I was just reading the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese put out a survey, and it was on the internet, and many young people responded, and it gave a lot of information, much of which wasn't a surprise. The main thing they said they wanted was fellowship, and after that was social service, these kind of things where we can go out and feed the hungry and clothe the naked. So, I think we start where they are. I think we determine what they want without compromising the church, and we meet them there, because ultimately we don't want to turn the church into a YMCA or a nightclub. But everybody's different, Even if we look at the lives of the saints, the saints vary tremendously. Some were, not nursing from their mother's breasts on Wednesdays and Fridays, and others were harlots and robbers. So we find out. I think we have to find out where our kids are, and meet them where they are. So if that means, having social service outreaches, then I think we need to do that. Always, the difficulty is we don't want to turn into a social service, arm of the government, and we don't want to turn into a nightclub, and we don't want to turn into all these other things. So it is challenging. And I think a part of it too is that we need to focus on the parents, and we need to develop their piety and kind of help them to understand that ultimately, I remember reading a Spanish proverb that says, a pound of mother is worth 10 pounds of clergy. And I think that's true. I think, I have parishioners come. Just the other day I had a parishioner come to me and ask me about what I can do to help her with her 11-year-old son, who is just crazy and doing just lots of things that aren't good. And the answer I wanted to give her is, how about 100 prostrations every morning and another 100 at night? Because that's really where it starts. The church as an institution can only do so much, and we're spread thin. But if we can capture the parents and sort of cultivate piety within them, so that they are fasting and they are praying and they are coming to church, that's a big part. It's a multifaceted and extremely complicated question, and I certainly won't be the first nor the last to answer it. And I think we need to have ministries that are constantly engaging our youth, so that they don't get disconnected. Because I think, many of our parishes, and no fault of anyone, there's points within the life of a child where they're not engaged anymore with the church. Maybe that's in grade school, maybe that's in middle school, maybe that's in high school, and we need to have them constantly be engaged. So even when they go to college, which of course is I think the root of the question that was asked, is ultimately how do we prevent them going to college and not coming back? I assume that's the question. And I think a big part of that is by ministering to them all the way through their lives. Also, I think, and this is something maybe we haven't done, is we need to give them intellectual muscle. We need to give them a response to the many agnostic and atheistic professors they may run into in school. We need to give them a response to evolution. We need to give them a response to whatever kind of secular, anti-Christian, anti-theistic philosophy that's going to be thrown in their face. Because oftentimes these teachings are very slick. They're very appealing. And of course the world around us tells us just to seek after kind of pleasure and money and all of these kind of worldly things. So we have to give our kids some muscle. And if we don't give them intellectual muscle, not just spiritual muscle, but really reasoning muscle, in the sense of being able to really explain intellectual and intelligently why they're a Christian. I think without that, it's an uphill battle, and so I think there's many facets. I think one is a consistent ministry to our young people. One is the parents, and another, and of course there are many others I'm sure I'm not mentioning, but another is that intellectual muscle, so that our kids aren't going to college with a very primitive, rudimentary kind of intellectual understanding of why they are Christians.